All right, good morning, committee. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're a little behind time. So first, the first item on the agenda is, are there any bill introductions this morning? All right, seeing none. We're going to go ahead and work two bills today. The first is going to be House Bill 2418. So I didn't know if Jill wanted to give an update or remind us of what actually is in the contents of 2418. Jill.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This is the bill that abolishes some study commissions, task forces, councils, and in some instances, acts. So I don't know if you brought along, but I'll just read which ones this abolishes. It abolishes the Study Commission for the Consolidation of Kansas City, Kansas, and Wyandotte County, the Consolidation Commission of Topeka and Shawnee County, the Study Commission for the Consolidation of Greeley County Units of Government, the Podiatry Review Committee, the State Board of Healing Arts Review Committee for each branch of the healing arts, the Contact Lens Advisory Council, the State Emergency Response Commission, the Naturopathic Advisory Council, the Transportation Vision Task Force, Special Ed Funding Task Force, Persian Gulf War Veterans Health Initiative Act, Kansas Export Finance Act, Community Strategic Planning Assistance Act, Natural and Scientific Area Advisory Board, Public Finance Transparency Board, Kansas Film Services Commission, Kansas Bioscience Authority, CAN-ED Act, and the Department of Health and Environment Advisory Committees. And then the sections in the bill just clean up all the references to that, to these acts, boards, task force, or the statutory citations to them.
All right, thank you, Jill. Are there any questions for Jill? All right, I believe I have an amendment to this bill, and that is to exclude all of the deletion of the statutory commissions and boards regarding the Board of Healing Arts. So I would move my amendment. Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Helgerson. And the reason why is when we had the special committee on state employee compensation and benefits at the time, when we had the review of all of these commissions and boards that are statutorily required, either they did not get back to us or they gave us wrong information and how long or when they meet. After, which usually happens when you have a bill introduction, then that spurs the talk. And so I met with the Board of Healing Arts, and so this would eliminate the four boards from removing them from statute because they actually do regularly meet. So are there any questions in regards to the amendment? Representative Owens.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, if I read this correctly, we're going to be merging the Board of Cosmetology and Board of Barbering?
No, we're not doing that. I apologize if that was what you had perceived was going on with this amendment, but no, we are not merging. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, so I noticed on here there's a Special Education Funding Task Force. It was created, I think, in 2008 and it met during that few years, and then it hasn't been used since. Sorry.
We are on an amendment.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any further discussions on the amendment? All right, seeing none, I will close on my amendment, so I move it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes. Now, Representative Williams.
Thank you. Okay, so on that note, we did pass a bill that would have a new special education funding task force. It is necessary. We do have a broken formula, and it, like I said, it is not gone anywhere on the Senate side, but then it was also included in SB 83 that was passed on the House side, and ultimately, whatever that final package is for education, I do believe it will be included because it's that important. So my comment is, it doesn't really matter necessarily that it would be stricken from the statute. However, I kind of like the historic reference to it. So it seems to me it might be better if that was eliminated from this list so that when it does pass ultimately this year, we see that historical reference in statute.
So do you have a motion?
Yes, I do. Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we remove Special Education Funding Task Force from the list in House Bill 2418.
All right, you've heard the motion, seconded by Representative Estes. Discussion on the motion. Seeing none, Representative Williams may close.
I close.
All right, committee, you've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Any further discussion on 2418 as amended? All right, seeing none, I would go ahead and move that we pass out House Bill 2418 as amended. Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Hoffman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I move the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion is passed. Representative Ballard? All right. All right. The final bill that we're going to be looking at today is going to be final action on House Bill 2449, and that is regards to the statutory boards and commissions and in regards to the compensation or pay that each of those members receive. So I don't know if Jill can give an update on House Bill 2449. Jill.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. You might recall what this does is basically provides all members of boards and commissions, statutory boards and commissions who are authorized by statute to receive compensation. They'll receive the amount of the per diem compensation paid to legislators. Right now in statutes it's $35, and so what this would do would raise it up to the legislative rate, which is your guys' rate, which is currently $88.66.
All right, are there any questions for Jill? Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So if the commission that is moving through the House and Senate were to become law and there would be changes to our pay, this would have no impact on that change. It's
Jill.
not tied to the 8866. It's just specifically 8866. Does that make sense?
Jill.
Yes, it does. It is tied to the statute. It's not tied to 8866. And so what we're going to have to do is if that compensation commission goes through and if they would make a change, then and I don't think it would actually go into effect till 26. So, this would be on our radar, and we would have to ask you guys, like, what is your intent? So before we ever amended 46-137A to increase it or even abolished it, we would have to take care of all that and ask the legislature, the sitting legislature at the time, what is your intent? And
So right, and that's good to know. But also, how does this potentially? It's different, for example, than the state school board, which also gets the legislative rate. But just so that I understand that this commission is only legislative pay, but I don't know all the other entities that are tied to legislative pay, and apparently this would be too. And so, would state board also be tied to this or the other legislative commission pay?
So as of right now, they'd be tied to this.
They'd be tied to
I think
this.
in 26, we're going to have to run a trailer bill because you all are going to have to decide what you want them to be. Do you want the boards and commissions, do you want them to keep 8866, or will you figure out the formula, once you don't reject, if this stays how it is, if you don't reject what they do, then if that pay raises, to me, there's going to be lots of questions and lots of bills. We're going to probably, not lots of bills, but you know what I mean, a few bills that we're going to have to address this.
All right, thank you, Mr.
But
Chairman.
as of right now, it'd be tied to this.
All right, thank you.
Representative Helgerson.
I think I understand. So we're going to do a trailer bill giving some guidance as to what the compensation package will be for all of these members. If there is a package and if it is agreed to by the legislature, correct?
Jill.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Jill in regards to House Bill 2449? All right, see none. Thank you, Jill. Are there any amendments to House Bill 2449? All right, I'm not seeing any, so I would move that we pass out House Bill 2449 favorably for passage, seconded by Representative Helgerson. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Representative Sutton. All right, committee, I want to commend everybody for the work that we did the previous 2 days on Tuesday and Wednesday in regards to the budget. Obviously, we're going to be having that next week on the House floor and then going to conference with the Senate, which has varying different issues in regards to their bill. But again, I want to commend everybody for their work. This is actually going to be the last formal meeting that we're going to be having in Appropriations Committee. Just to give you guys an idea of what the schedule is going to look like right now, when we go on first adjournment, we are probably going to be coming back on April 24th. And we're going to be looking at the items that we had at Omnibus, the governor's budget adjustments, and then also reviewing the new CREs that is going to be determined on April 20th. So we're hoping that we can have all that information and have our position passed out by April 24th. And then obviously we're going to have the omnibus budget bill on the 25th or 26th on the House floor. So with that, we are adjourned.